Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pet Brand Podcast, where we dive deep with the pet brand founders, CEOs, and industry leaders to uncover their journeys, strategies, insight for building successful businesses in the pet world. I'm your host Varnit, and today I'm thrilled to welcome a very special guest, Sierra Elbert. Sierra is the founder and president of Groom Curriculum, the first nationally collegiate approved dog grooming curriculum provider in the US. She has transformed the grooming industry by creating standardized, safety focused education that serves colleges, salons, and workforce systems across the country. So, in today's episode, we will dive into Sierra's journey as a founder, how she built a purpose driven brand, her innovative approach to education, and the strategy she's used to grow and market Groom Curriculum nationally. Sierra, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being a part of Pet Brand Podcast.
Thanks for inviting me. Can't wait.
Uh-huh. And yeah, I mean, like starting at the beginning, often, it often helps listeners understand the motivation and journey behind the brand. So let's start at the beginning. Like, what inspired you to create Groom Curriculum, and what personal or professional experience led you to this mission?
Yeah. So Groom Curriculum really was built on the need of our industry. I really truly wanted to see accessibility. I
Uh-huh.
grew up in the world of dog grooming. My mom owned a salon.
Wow.
Uh, like other dog grooming salon owners, and you have kids, your kids sleeping kennels. We're underneath the grooming table. We're really good at shop vacuuming hair up from the that needs shop vac. But so I've just known grooming my entire life. And I did end up starting my own practice at 17 years old.
Wow.
And later while still running that business, I started a dog grooming program at my local community college. And I
Mm.
did spend over 2 years training groomers without a formal curriculum. So I was teaching like case by case as the dogs came through the door. My students did progress, but I kept seeing this huge gap.
Mm.
I needed a clear curriculum. I needed standards. I needed like a pathway. So if I wasn't the instructor, the person that was going to replace me could,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
couldn't. Other industries that I noticed at the community college, they had a curriculum that any instructor could teach from day 1 to day 30 or whatever they were at. And an instructor could step in and step out, and the students'
Wow.
time wasn't lost. So yeah, Groom Curriculum was the answer to fixing that gap. I ended up quitting my job at the college.
Yeah.
I really wanted to build a national scalable
Wow.
curriculum that all colleges could use. And unfortunately, our visions weren't aligned at the time.
Okay.
Uh, so I created a business with my business partner that happens to be, as the industry knows her as Aunt Patty. She's truly my aunt, as we've gone to college conferences,
Wow.
even dog grooming conferences and trade
Uh-huh.
shows. End up introducing her as my aunt Patty. So everyone calls her, even like big franchise owners. They're like,
Wow.
"Hey, Aunt Patty." So it's really
Wow.
fun. But yeah, together with my cousin Shelby, so my Rolodex of people are truly my family.
Mm.
We all end up, we're Midwestern Iowa girls that work super hard, but together we built a safety first LMS, so learning management system, delivered pathway
Wow.
aligned to the industry credential, the AKC PGC. And that followed, we also have like a train the trainer. So the colleges could hire and pay their own instructors and
Mm.
still deliver consistent quality. So the mission was super simple: make the groom safer, raise the
Wow.
bar in skills, and open a real career path for learners.
Mhm.
Especially, my favorite learners are unemployed, underemployed, and justice impacted. And of course, the career changers. I see so many parents, moms from like age 26 to 35 that they have, and they want to be stay-at-home working moms. So those are the students that pull on our hearts, and we love to serve them. And we can't thank our college partners throughout the nation that helps us make it accessible. So
Love, love the answer.
that's what inspired the whole dang thing.
Love the answer. And like every founder faces hurdles early on when they're starting the journey, right? So hearing about
Yeah.
these can give our audience insight into the realities of starting a business. So what were the earliest challenges you faced when building Groom Curriculum from the ground up?
Yeah. So, I mean, my checkbook definitely hurt. But my biggest challenge was figuring out how to sell curriculum to colleges. and the accreditation it took to get there, it took about a year. So we were literally learning on the fly at conferences. My business partner, Aunt Patty, and I were literally hashing it out in like a bathroom.
Okay.
And someone overheard us and told us exactly what to do. We didn't even know how to sell what we had. We just knew
Uh,
we had a great product. How
wow.
do these workforce directors and deans need us to say
Yeah.
the pitch, and what does even program curriculum sell for? We had no idea. So
Uh-huh.
luckily, we've had people that they just wanted to help.
Okay.
They saw the big picture. And unfortunately, the grooming industry is 100 years behind other trades. 100 years
Definitely.
ago,
Yeah.
dogs were great Pyrenees that went down to the creek and they took care of themselves. They weren't
Yeah.
in the house. So it's just, we're catching up, and we're catching up fast. And
Mm,
we've created those clear competencies and safety standards and
mm,
assessments, and now we're
mm,
a college ready path. So we're
mm.
here. We're caught
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about the resistance. Like what kind of specific resistance or skepticism did you encounter early on?
So in the beginning, the questions and the skepticism was super fair. The industry already kind of felt like they've set the tone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've always respected that history. I learned from that. And at the same time, our industry was behind compared to other skilled trades, not just dog grooming, say like phlebotomy, EMT, CNA. So we definitely looked outward as how those trades matured and grew even 100 years before, how curriculum was standardized and the processes they took.
Mm,
So, shared education standards, the common language, leveled competencies, practical assessments, college back delivery. We
mm.
brought those elements into the grooming world so students, instructors, and employers could align.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, documenting what the great groomers did and how they taught and how our stuff was created from
Yeah.
even what I've learned to translating that into teachable steps. So then we could prove it to institutions across the country. So
Yeah.
um, I think those skeptics, I really feel like they've all kind of pendulum swung. They were like, do we need this? We've already done it, to wow, this is super helpful. And oh my gosh, this makes sense. So
Yeah.
it was really earning that trust, because it's hard. We have, three Midwest Iowa girls coming in with a plan that industry didn't do before. And
Yeah. Yeah.
now we have, the World Pet behind us, and
Mm,
Barclays, our publisher. So we have some really great partnerships. But
mm.
yeah,
But
it's
at
a
that time you
pendulum
were like
swing.
reinventing the wheel pretty much. Yeah.
Well, we're trying.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And now moving to the next section, building a purpose-driven brand. So, like partnership with established organization can definitely accelerate credibility and growth. So you have built credibility through partnership with the WPA and even the US Department of Labor. So how did those relationship come about, and how have they helped scale your impact?
Well, so the WPA partnership really came at our trickiest growth moment. It was through peer networking, a conversation with someone who really listened and said, you know what, I know somebody that could help you.
Yeah.
And so that introduction led to WPA seeing our vision and backing the idea that a unified safety first curriculum truly lifts the whole curriculum, or it truly lifts the whole industry,
Mm.
but also think of one dog groomer that took a program and the hundreds of dogs per year they groom. Now you take that to 5,000 dog groomers and think of, because World Pet is all about the animal, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
pets,
Yeah.
lizards to iguanas to gerbils to dogs.
Yeah.
So having their hand in those hundreds of thousands of dogs because someone has created accessibility,
Mm.
safety first curriculum. So that was super nice. And on the workforce side, we kept everyone we served with, we kept asking them, what do you wish that existed? And employers were sending their students to our partner colleges. In
Mm.
one college, it was just networking and asking the hard questions. What do you wish was different? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? And they told me, hey, if you're up to this, if you're open to thinking outside the box, we could do this a different way. And if you're okay with a year's worth of paperwork,
Okay.
um, we could align you to an Earn While You Learn apprenticeship path. And instead of our employers, as much as they love them sending their students to the colleges, colleges could help them and do inside training with the registered apprenticeship. So it's just like, I think networking is truly to answer like how we built credibility is I'm sitting at tables. I probably have
Hmm.
no reason to be at, but I'm sitting and learning and listening and just taking it all in and
Definitely.
really truly trying to connect those dots.
Hmm. Definitely. And moving forward to the next question, scaling a mission-driven company, it often requires unique leadership approach, right? So what leadership lesson have you learned about scaling a mission-driven company in a, let's say, in a traditionally unstructured industry like grooming?
So I've learned that scaling a mission-driven company in an unstructured industry is nothing like scaling a business that has systems. My
Yeah.
husband and I do run several super successful companies
Wow.
that operate like clockwork. We have the SOPs, we have
Yeah.
predictable revenue.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but Groom Curriculum is not that. Startups are super different. We're like hacking through a rainforest,
mm,
not walking on a paved trail that's like nicely concreted and flowers are, you know, in beds next to our trail. But we're in a space that's never had that structure.
mm,
So we can't hire people who expect structure. I needed to hire people that'll pick up that machete and just cut down a path and figure it out as we go. So that was my hardest piece is finding those people and
mm.
someone that needed that perfect job description with the same task, but the right, like they're not they can't, I need generalist is like my biggest term with our team. I need people that have the vision in mind, they're problem solvers and who can
Yeah.
figure out things when it's messy and undefined because we're going to be living in this. We're growing at super rapid speeds. We
Wow.
don't like we have SOPs, we have automations, and we have CRM, and we have the things, but those are morphing every day.
Yeah.
What it's not a copy and paste. We've done 18 contacts. We gave
Uh,
you two
uh,
solid leads. It's just a
uh,
morphing
yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
So and we've learned that in the very beginning. It's we
Yeah.
need those generalists on our team, and that was my biggest like my biggest leadership lesson.
Yeah.
And don't try to scale like a mature company has. And that was my hardest piece. Um, with my other businesses, it was super easy to scale. And I have these arbitrary timelines
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I really thought we could punch and do, but it's a lot of building. And so
Yeah.
that was hard.
Love it. Moving on to the next section, talking about solving industry problem and innovating education. So, what do you see as the biggest skill gaps or safety issues in grooming today, and how does Groom Curriculum solve them?
Yeah, so I really truly believe the AKC PGC is the answer to raising the safety and the skill
Wow.
across this industry.
Mhm.
Um, and we're proud to be, as far as we know, the first grooming education company to align our program to that third party test administrator. For years, most providers issued their own certificate of completion, where we took a different path. We built the training, then we proved it to the outside. Sorry, we built the training, then prove it on with an outside exam. So think like we really looked outside industry the entire time. Groom Curriculum has just looked outside. So I love to use this analogy. The DOT here in America, you have the Department of Transportation. You could go online and take practice exams to take your driver's test. But in those exams don't matter until you walk into the DOT and you take that exam or that test. So
Okay.
that is what Groom Curriculum is. We could prepare you, we could get you ready,
Hmm.
but you have to take a third party administrator test. And that's with the AKC, with the American Kennel Club. They have a credential called the Professional Grooming Credential. So
Wow.
AKC PGC. And I truly see this is where that's our first measuring system for our industry.
Hmm.
And they even have a whole pathway. So it's AKC PGC. That's like your written driver's test, right?
Okay.
You rolled through that stop sign. You knew you broke the law. Well, you just walked away from a dog on the table. Well, you just broke the rules. This is a self-regulated industry.
Wow.
There are systems, they have education standards set. There's a whole bunch of things that I don't think a lot of everyday practicing dog groomers are even aware of, but they are building the systems. So I really truly think that is what's gonna be the fix and fix that gap. And then the next level is you have to, at the DOT, you actually have to do a driver's test, or you took driver's ed when you're 14 to 16, either or. I mean, every state in America is different, but you have to prove that you could pass in a driver's test. So same thing, AKC coat types is you have to prove that the dogs you're grooming doesn't look like it was groomed by a weed whacker, that you are decent at your job. They're not asking for like master, but they do have a master program, the NDGAA, NCMG. It's like National Certified Groomer, NCM, National Certified Master Groomer. Okay. And that's like, if I'm going to keep the driver's license analogy, that's like your CDL. That's like you are way past. I mean, that is next level show grooming, contest level grooming. Does 99% of America need a CDL? No, but we do need people that do, because there are educators, there are speakers, there are instructors. So I think the more people that are aware of what AKC is building, that's how we fix it. For the longest time, we've had an organization over here or an organization over here, and everyone had what's best, but nobody has like hooked on arms, and nobody has hooked on arms and said, this is best practices, and we're going to use this measuring outcome system here.
Love it. And also, designing an effective educational program, it must require strategy and precision, right? So your upskill fast track program, it promises transformation in 45 days. So what was the strategy behind designing such a focused outcome driven course?
Well, so actually we launched a course before fast track that was just called upskill.
Okay.
And it was a 20-hour course, and it had 5 structured Zoom lessons with it, and it totally worked. But like I said before, we're asking our students, what did you like? What did you not like? How can we make this better? And the market was telling us that the working groomers wanted less hours and pure focus on that PGC prep. So that's where fast track came in, was if you want to be test prep ready to take the AKC PGC, we have no fluff course. It takes at max 6 hours to take. And it really preps you to take that AKC PGC exam. Where upskill, it's a 20-hour course, and there's a workbook, and there's 5 lessons, and it's a lot more. And so it just depends. We created 2 different lanes. The working groomer that's like, I don't have time. I just want to get in. I want to validate what I know and be test prep ready. So that's just listening to our audience.
Love it. And credentialing is definitely, it's a hot topic right now, right? So how do you see it reshaping the entire grooming profession at, let's say, in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah. So credentialing changes the game because it changes the incentives. AKC PGC becomes the baseline. So it gives grooming a self-regulated mechanism without waiting on a state board. The schools align to it. Employers hire for it, insurers prefer it, and consumers lean to look for it. So what I would like to see in 5 years is the colleges, well, I already know because I'm the college provider, but the college graduates, the groomers, they're earning the PGC before they walk out the door. So imagine 5 years where there's a community college within 60 miles from everybody's home. And all those groomers, they're earning the PGC. It is baked into their course. So they have that minimum competency level certificate, that driver's license. They have that. And then also, I want shops to mark that they're PGC certified, just like the same way gyms market that they have certified trainers. You don't just have a bro that, drinks, whatever the protein is, because their self-knowledge that they're going to teach you, like they have certified trainers at the gyms.
Exactly.
And then hopefully in 5 years, the people that haven't just hooked, my whole thing with some groomers is they're like never going to take a test. Why would I need to do it? Like it's going to be a red flag for those groomers that
Yeah.
won't even test their knowledge.
Mm.
And, even if you don't pass a couple questions, that just that tells our industry that is data. So maybe our industry slacks on sanitation. Well, that data will push all the other trade shows like, hey, Barkley and World Pet with Super Zoo and Groomed at Atlanta. These classes is what our PGC test takers is lacking on. So please put out more animal behavior or more sanitation.
Yeah.
So truly, when I see the credentialing, and credential is a hot topic. I go to workforce conferences, all the college conferences all year long, and that is all we're hearing is stackable credentials, short-term workforce programs. Truly, every conference I go to, they're saying colleges are kind of turning into a blockbuster, and we need to think like Netflix.
Yeah.
So there is people that need to become engineers and
Mm.
doctors,
Mm. Mm.
and universities are going to be here, but community colleges, they're going to workforce programs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the more we could push this credential, the better everybody wins. So those red flag groomers that refuse to take an exam to prove that they have baseline knowledge, customers are going to bounce.
Yeah.
So they're going to go to the ones that have that consumer base. Everyone knows who American Kennel Club is. And
Yeah.
if you can't take the time to take a test to prove to your consumers that you are going to take the best practice and you're going to
Yeah.
make sure their dog is safe, that's a red flag to me.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. And
yeah.
beyond courses, your physical products reinforce the learning experience and brand presence, right? So, what
Yeah.
role do your physical products, such as the Pet Stylist Playbook and the Resource Guide, play in reinforcing your educational model and brand identity as well?
Yeah, I really love our brand. I really love what
Yeah.
we've built. But truly, our physical products, like you mentioned, the Pet Styles Playbook and our resource guide, were built for accessibility. My mother never finished grade school, and I wanted something she could actually use at her grooming table.
Wow.
So that became our bar. Everything we've created, we asked ourselves, can my mom learn from this? Will
Mm.
this actually help her? And
Mm.
with the help of Aunt Patty, who's created curriculum for years, she helped me translate how to groom dogs into plain language, true step-by-step sequencing, clear color coded visuals.
Wow.
And we
Wow.
also wrote them for not just my mom, but for salons. And we organized it around the 8 common grooms all of our salons see every day. So what's on the page maps to the real work on the table. But
Mm.
also with your brand identity, is there's a whole nother reason why we created books. You don't get rich off books, I'll tell you that. It costs more to pay your
Yeah.
illustrators and graphic
Uh,
designers and
uh,
publisher. Like you don't get rich,
yeah.
but big purchases, research say that you need at least 200 minimum hours before you make that big commitment
Mm.
to spend money.
Yeah.
So hopefully when they buy the books, they're extending their learning beyond our LMS screen, our online courses, or even in
Yeah.
the college
Yeah.
classrooms, or
Mm.
wrap the registered apprenticeship programs with their salons at franchises
Mm.
that reinforces our education model and brand. And yeah, so it's accessible, salon
Mm.
ready, and designed to turn those curiosity into competencies. And hopefully, at the end of the day, we're a business too and money.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Moving forward, Sierra, to the marketing and brand growth strategy section. Uh, Marketing an educational product, it comes with its unique challenges, right? Especially in hands-on field like grooming. So, how did you initially position groom curriculum to gain traction with salons, colleges, and professionals?
Well, I like to tell my team that we don't sell education, we sell outcomes.
Yeah,
So salons want skilled hires without turnover, which is a huge issue or has been.
yeah.
And colleges, they want
Mm.
enrollment plus workforce alignment. And
Mm.
working groomers, they want a credential that actually truly means something. So we led with those results. Those were the 3 buckets we were chasing, and education was a piece of that. So
Mm.
we led with the results and not theory. We built proof first and then we talked about it.
Yeah.
And once the data and student outcomes are visible, the traction was not a problem. We have wait lists at multiple college partners throughout the nation.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Uh-huh. And like till now, like what has been your successful marketing campaign, or like what is the best channel you have that you get the best ROI?
So we haven't really turned on marketing yet, if I'm
Okay,
going to be completely clear. We'll be 4 years in August of 2026 for a company. We've been heads down building the product and just stacking the
yeah,
proof.
yeah.
So hopefully, check back in with us next year. We're flipping that switch, and hopefully, you'll just be so sick of seeing Groom Curriculum once our strategy rolls out. But
Yeah.
truly, like I said, we're selling outcomes
Hmm.
and we're collecting data, and you know,
Yeah.
we're giving that
That's
results, not
uh
just theory. So
yeah.
we're at that point now. That is what we're talking with teams, and we're building all of that as we
Mhm.
speak.
Love it. Love it. Now talking about the scaling and partnership and a future vision that you have, scaling from a local or niche program to a national presence is definitely it's a major accomplishment. So Groom Curriculum is now a national program. Like what strategy did you use to scale beyond your initial market?
Yeah, we scaled nationally by doing what worked. I truly believe that. And then documenting so anyone could repeat it. Um, it wasn't magic. I mean, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of tears, a lot of delusional ideas, but it was truly, like I said before, it's just proof in the pudding. And
Yeah.
partnerships and networking is also another piece. So once we nailed one college or even one registered apprenticeship salon or a franchise, we built that system
Wow.
a lot of the times for free because we wanted to know what worked.
Mm,
And we wanted their honest feedback, and it's one of those earn while you learn kind of things. We all were figuring it out together in the very, very beginning,
mm.
and then we just copied and pasted and repeated.
Wow.
um, and so we aligned with state and national and industry frameworks like the Department of Labor
Mhm.
or our industry recognized credential with AKCs. Anyone could do it. Anyone could take their students and have them sit for the PGC. That is why the PGC was created,
Mm.
was that piece. So it was replication.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's intervention. Wow.
No.
That let us go
Yeah.
national, but it was just persistence and hard working and following
Uh,
outside industry.
uh,
A lot of people said, this is how it's been done. Well, in this industry, but other industries, no.
yeah, definitely. And if let's say if you were starting Groom Circulum today from scratch, so what do you think? Like, what would you do differently based on everything you have learned?
I would kill those arbitrary timelines. Those are what gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'd really change anything. Truly, I mean,
Yeah.
the work that we do, and I will say the colleges that we work with, those institutions,
Mm.
they're truly like people with capes. They are the superhero of their county, of their region,
Yeah.
because they're not only putting dog grooming in front of their students who's been unemployed, underemployed, just as impacted.
Mm.
Um, they have 300 plus programs, and they're
Oh,
doing a lot of good work on telling people, hey, we have a program, let's get you into a skilled trade, and you could make a good living.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I would say I don't know if I would change anything because the stories we've learned about the students. I mean, we have some students. At one point, we had people from homeless shelters taking our exam
Wow.
or taking our program,
Wow.
because workforce college deans, there are actually truly people out there making a change. And if
Wow.
dog groomers can make 60,000 their first year, that's more
Definitely.
than they've ever dreamed of making. So, and it just goes up from there, your
Wow.
income.
Mm.
So I don't know if I would change anything. I think I would just try to trust the process more. And like I said, kill those arbitrary timelines because those are what's going to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
You cannot build something this big and think you're going to just have it done the first year. We're on year 4 and we're
Yeah.
starting to break even.
Wow.
So that helps anyone. It is a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of resources,
Definitely.
and a lot of time. But honestly, I see these people's lives being changed, and
Mhm. Mhm.
that's why we're continuing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And since you're talking about, raising the standard, like, what do you think, like, what mindset shift do you believe founders in the pet industry as whole need to embrace to scale successfully?
Yeah, stop thinking like a hobbyist and start
Wow.
operating like a builder.
True business.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, so passion gets you started. I mean, that's how I started. But
Yeah.
systems keep you alive.
Hmm.
And the pet industry, like we all run on heart, but that's how it's ran. Pet industries ran on heart. But
Yeah.
scaling takes data and it takes repeatable delivery and accountability. You know
Hmm.
how many times our team is like, it's just we're we're doing a lot of boring work, but it takes us to do it. So yeah, I think we're raising that standard by talking about it, and you raise it by measuring and proving it and repeating it until average looks elite. So
Yeah.
even though we're doing hard things every day and but
But
we're
it's
just
just a part of
delusional
the
and
process.
consistent. Yeah, it's just part of the process, you
Uh,
know.
uh, Love it, love it. And also one other thing that I want to talk about, burnout is common in both grooming and entrepreneurship as well. So, like, what strategy do you personally use to stay focused and inspired as a leader?
Yeah, so funny you say that.
Mhm.
Burnout is real in both dog grooming, entrepreneurship, any
Absolutely.
industry,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And for us, the key here is durable skills. It's
Mhm.
those people skills. That's why we built a course called Packanality. It's a framework that helps our team and partners understand personalities. So, and communicate clearly and set healthy
No,
timeline or help to
no.
set those healthy boundaries. And most burnout comes from miscommunication or
Mhm.
taking on more than you could handle. So we teach people how to read each other, respect differences, and respond instead of react. So let me see if I have my cards. Um, I'll just show you this poster.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Uh-huh.
there we go.
Wow.
I don't know if the viewer can see it. I'm a Cocker Spaniel. So I'm the team player. I'm sensitive. I'm approval seeking and I'm super
Uh-huh.
quirky, right? This is what Packinality is. It teaches you in the workplace. I struggle the most with the hounds. They're the watchful analyst. Okay. They are the people that are collecting all the data. They're
Mm.
introverted thinking, where I'm thinking outside.
Yeah.
I'm letting everyone know all of my thoughts, A to Z.
Mm.
They're all inside. So when I come and approach my hound workers and I say, hey, isn't this a great idea? Don't you love it? It's going to be great. And
Yeah.
they tell me, this isn't going to work because of this. This
Yeah.
is horrible.
They're
Have you
more
even thought of this?
practical approach.
Yeah, they're gonna give me all the reasons why it won't work or all the things that we have to do to make it work.
Mm.
And my first triggering thought is they hate me. That's
Yeah.
not true. And
Uh,
yeah, so
uh,
Patricia Pierce built Packanality. And that is for any industry. It's fun. We have high school staff taking it. We have hospital staff taking it. But truly, it's just to get along in the workplace. And we built this for our dog groomers. You get table cards. So you put these on your dog grooming tables.
wow.
And, if if you have a terrier in the salon,
Uh,
they're bold. They're gonna tell you exactly how they think. But you will, and so you're gonna approach that person differently than you would
yeah.
a
Mhm.
cockatiel, a sporting dog, the golden retriever, because we're going to be
Wow.
like, that's a great idea. I love this music. And the
Yeah.
terrier is going to be like, we're sick of Taylor Swift. Turn it off. And we're going to be like, oh, why did you see that? So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, love it. Love this approach. And
Yeah.
last question from my end, Sierra.
Okay.
To close the conversation on actionable advice for someone who has transformed the industry is definitely invaluable. So, what one piece of advice you would give to pet brand founder who might be listening to this podcast, who wants to not just build a company but truly transform their corner of industry as you have?
I would say study outside your industry. And if people say that's obnoxious or that won't work, you're probably onto something and you need to run towards it and figure it out and keep running,
Hmm.
and don't let the boring work make you stop, because that's the magic. So definitely study outside your industry. Don't look on, well, this is how it's always been done. Look, that's what we've done. We've looked at EMT, phlebotomist, CNA, cosmetology, and outside, and said, how can we replicate? How can we use those things? I think just that's my piece of advice for those founders.
Love it. Love it. And guys, that brings us to the end of another episode of Pet Brand Podcast. Sierra, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. And to our listeners, if you're looking to elevate your pet brand or gain actionable strategies for growth, be sure to check out Groom Curriculum and connect with Sierra's work. I will leave all the links in the description below. And yeah, thanks again, Sierra. And we will see everyone else in the next episode for the Pet Brand Podcast. Great. That's it.
Bye.
See you the podcast.